Do you need to join two pieces of knitting, like at a shoulder seam? Right up there? Let me show you how to do just that, using the 3-needle bind-off. We've got two swatches here, both 36 stitches wide, knit and stockinette stitch in the center with a garter stitch border. And we would like to join these two together along the edge where the needles are. So we could bind them both off and sew them together, or we could do a 3-needle bind off. So today I will show you how to do just that, to join them using a 3-needle bind off. We need to put the right sides together, and the right sides are both showing now. So I'm going to just flip the yellow swatch over so that the needles are parallel. And we're going to bind off, and we're going to do this with a contrasting yarn. We're going to use this plum yarn to bind them off, just so that you can see what is happening. Ordinarily, both sides would probably be the same yarn, and the yarn that you'd use to bind off would also be the same yarn. So we're going to insert our needle into the first stitch on the front needle and the first stitch on the back needle. And we'll just knit those 2 stitches together. So that's 1 stitch on the right needle. And then again insert through the first stitch on the first needle and the first stitch on the second needle. Knit those 2 together. Now we've got 2 stitches on the right needle, and we'll take the first one up and over the second one and off the end of the needle. That is 1 stitch bound off. We'll continue in this manner until all the stitches are bound off. And I'm going to not make you sit through 36 stitches, so I'll be back at the end to show you how we finish it off. I do want to mention though before I leave that you want to bind off loosely. You don't want your bind off to be tighter than the knitting. And it's really easy to do that with a bind off, so just give yourself a little extra yarn each time, or you could also use a bigger needle for the knitting. And that's another way to keep your stitches loose when you're binding off. Okay, we're almost done, almost to the end. We've got a couple more stitches to bind off, and then we'll finish this off. But you can see the plum yarn here is where the 3-needle bind off has happened, and then once we're finished I will show you the other side. So again, we're sticking the needle into the front of both stitches on the front needle and the back needle, and then lifting up and over, and then the last stitch here. Lift that up and over, and then we'll pull that stitch so it's a little bigger. And I've already cut the yarn so it's not attached to the skein, but we will just pull that through the last stitch and pull that until it's snug, not tight. I've bound off loosely so you see this stretches, the bind off stretches with the rest of the fabric. And if we flip it over, you can slightly see the plum yarn in between, but if everything was the same color yarn, it would not be noticeable at all. So again, it's stretchy, but it's also a very strong seam. That is the 3-needle bind off. So anytime you need to join 2 fabrics, you'll have that tool in your toolbox to help you do that.